We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest for this afternoon, Dr. Sameh Saadi, former consultant for the Minister of Tourism. Dr. Sameh, good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us this afternoon. And let me start by asking you, how do you see the developments in general, in the tourism sector here in Egypt? We've seen multifaceted developments in different fields in tourism. Could you tell us a bit more about your vision for this, sir?
Actually, since Corona finished,
yes.
then the whole world is facing a big tourism movement, and of course Egypt taking a good share of it.
Yes.
And actually last year we have very good figures, and we have a very good flow of tourism.
Mm-hmm.
And this season we are expecting much more than before.
Absolutely. Doctor, now we've seen the ministry's efforts beginning to bear fruit. We've seen changes and assistance with regards to visa facilitation. And this comes, of course, as we've seen new facilitations pointing to easing the application for a visa to come visit Egypt, making it more accessible and available and immediate, which is a very important thing for tourists who don't want to waste so much time with the application for a visa to visit any country. How do you see this step by the Ministry of Tourism, sir?
Let me explain that since the transformation Abu Simbel, since saving Abu Simbel temple in the early 60s,
yes,
Egypt has made a kind of a deal. It's not an official, but it's a kind of gentleman agreement, say like this, that European nationalities, which represent almost 70% of our visitors, they can get the visa either through the embassy or straight at the airport. So now having it online is better, because then it's much easier and faster than going to the embassy. You buy a stamp, $25, and they call it Abu Simbel stamp. I mean, this is to show the gratitude and appreciation to save the Abu Simbel temple, and they get a visa. What happened with the e-visa? It is facilitating other nationalities to come to Egypt, which was impossible before to come to, or say it was very complicated. The embassies, they could process certain number of visas, but the e-visa, of course, could process much more. So this has helped to increase the traffic to
absolutely.
Egypt.
Indeed. Now, Doctor, Egypt is also working to involve and empower the private sector in improving, the investment climate for the tourism sector. The Ministry of Tourism has addressed several aspects, including increasing hotel capacities, diversifying as well types of tourism, as well as improving legislative environments, especially in light of the ministry's role as a supervisor or a regulatory body of licensing to work with in the tourism industry. How do you see these facilitations and collaboration with the private sector to further enhance the tourism environment in Egypt?
Well, we take it from this point. Actually, the Ministry of Tourism has put rules and regulation, the standards for hotels, they call it HC standards, which each category of hotel should contain certain things. And already during the Corona time, they advised, because the hotels were having very low occupancy, they advised the hotels to upgrade and put the hotels in a better shape, and even the government gave a loan with a low interest rate for upgrading the hotels. And now actually the Minister of Tourism is checking the hotel, is going by rules and regulation according to the law to put the proper classification in each hotel according to the international standard. This of course improves the service and improves the image of Egypt among the world, because when I say 5-star hotel, it's exactly what he finds anywhere else. Before, it was not all the hotels according to the standards. So the Ministry of Tourism really is doing a great effort to check the hotels and to raise the standards of the hotels, tourism-wise. Also regarding travel agencies, they are putting a lot of rules and regulation, and they push the investors to upgrade the Nile cruises. Now there is 65 Nile cruises are upgrading, are going on total renovation, and they will be ready by October, November, to increase the fleet of the Nile cruises in a very good standard by 65 cruises. which is very good to our tourism industry.
Absolutely. Right, Doctor, we've also seen different moves, by Egypt to diversify, the types of tourism, different touristic programs in Egypt. We've seen different forms of tourism popping up over the last few years, whether it's ecotourism or health tourism, sports or conference tourism. All these, have taken tourism to another level in Egypt, no longer just the coastal or the cultural side of tourism. How important do you see this diversification process? How does it attract even religious tourism as well? How does it attract different demographics to come visit the country?
By all means, 72% of our tourism is leisure tourism, holiday tourism, because the inventory of the rooms in Egypt, 72 are between Red Sea Governorate and North and South Sinai Governorate. So rooms are there, definitely it attracts. And 18% are tourism, are culture tourism, because the number of rooms between Cairo and Luxor and Aswan. What is left is the different types of tourism, which are ecotourism. I mean, just remember that ecotourism, always the hotels are very limited number. They could be 8, 10, 12, 15, not more, because more than this is not an eco hotel. So ecotourism and different types of tourism are there, but always the majority goes to the classic and to the leisure tourism, according to the inventory of rooms in Egypt.
Absolutely. Now, also we've seen other steps as well to further market tourism in Egypt, and there are lots of things upcoming that lots of tourists are waiting for, including the Grand Egyptian Museum, its inauguration and working. And this is a very important event, especially, as you said, for leisure tourism and people that are very attracted to ancient Egyptian history, etc. How do you see the Grand Egyptian Museum changing or shifting the way tourism happens, especially by the Pyramids area and in the Giza area?
This tourism is putting the monuments and stuff. So tourists can come to Cairo and watch the museum and come back. So the lot of traffic. Tourism, people go to charm, which is happening until now, and include the Egyptian Museum in their visit. So it's an attraction, which, and the tourist movement to Egypt.
Absolutely right. Dr. Sameh Saad, a former consultant to the Minister of Tourism, I'd like to thank you very, very much, sir, for your time and all your insight. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Cairo Local Time. And that's all the time we have for today's episode. We do hope you have enjoyed it. My name is Angie Meher. Thank you for joining us.